This is a double glasses video because there's going to be times where I'm not going to just be doing one of these. I'm going to be doing two. Let's go.
Mort. Hey, Mort. 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 Hey, Mort. Go, Mort.
Pretty quick into the swap meet, I find a bunch of games out that are for the Nintendo Wii, the PlayStation 2, and the Nintendo GameCube.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you came at the right time.
Yeah.
I grab an initial stack of games and I'm hyped because this vendor has sold me stuff before, great prices, but today he wants a little more than I'm willing to spend on all of this stuff.
I don't know. You know more than I do. 140?
I ended up sticking to the GameCube games and I grabbed these two, Resident Evil and Sonic Battle 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. When I saw these babies, it was a sunglasses removal moment.
Okay, there's a DS game in here. What is it? Spore. We're good.
The vendor asked me, he said, I don't really know what these are worth. What would you say that they're worth? Forever, this game was 20 bucks. You would be lucky to get anything more for it in terms of value. And it's a great game. It's one of the best Resident Evil games ever. They reimagined the first game brilliantly in this, and we now see that with Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4. So the guy asked me, what are these two games worth? I say, I think they're worth about 70 bucks. 50 bucks for these two games, which is more than I would normally spend. However, I just felt it was kind of the right thing to do in this case. This guy always hooks me up with great deals. I think total value-wise, we're looking at about like maybe 70 bucks here. As I'm leaving and later on checking out the prices and the value, I thought Resident Evil on GameCube was like a $20 game. Apparently it's more like 30 or 35 now. This is more worth like 50 bucks, although with the torn manual, it's maybe 45. I don't have these game values memorized. They go off of my best recollection and memory. So later on in the day, I gave him an extra couple of bucks to say thanks and to right the wrong. But you tell me, what would you have done? Would you have given him back a few more bucks, or would you have just been like, well, you know, sometimes you make a mistake? Cool.
Good to see you, dude. How's it been?
Pretty good.
After I leave Michael's booth, come across this game right here, The Last of Us on the PS3. I played this one all the way through and really enjoyed my time with it, but it did start to feel a little bit tired for me by the end. I was really playing it because I was interested in the story and just kind of the gameplay going, all right, hurry up, get to the next section. I want to know what happens next with this wonderfully told story, but I never could really get into the gameplay as much as I think the game wanted me to. Especially since the show's come out, people have really been looking for this one, so this is a great deal on it. Love this vendor. This is the guy who sold me a couple of Nintendo DS consoles a while back. He had a few new games at his booth that I was really interested in. A couple to keep, one to resell. The one to resell is Toy Story Mania. I think the PlayStation 3 version is the definitive way to play this game because it's high definition and it has the motion controls attached to it. I don't like the Kinect. I don't really, whatever. Okay, we talked about Toy Story. These are the ones though that I'm interested in keeping. Let's start with this one. The original Cars game on the Xbox 360. I'm just a sucker for Pixar and Disney stuff and at least trying it, you know, once. 007 Legends. I have this on the Wii U, but that controller on the Wii U, I just never feel totally comfortable with it, whether it's the gamepad or the Pro Controller. So I wanted to play it on the 360. I know it's not very critically loved in the James Bond universe of video games, but as far as I'm concerned, it's what I'm happy to have in the collection to give a playthrough, and this will be the way that I'm excited to play through it. Most excited was a knowingly terrible game, Alone in the Dark. This is the soundtrack edition, and indeed there are 2 discs and one is a soundtrack. That means it's worth millions of dollars. There's certain elements of survival horror style games that can be really compelling. I think when the genre balances tension and fun really well, it can be some of the most compelling gameplay experiences. The early versions sort of set this pre-Resident Evil template for what a horror game could be, and they were always a little behind Resident Evil, but in this generation they went way behind, and apparently this game is really rough.
Give me 35.
35 deal. If you are trying to collect video games right now, you're trying to build a collection, Might I nudge you towards the Xbox and Xbox 360? They're the best ways to play the games of their respective generations. Oftentimes, if not every time, the Xbox 360 version of the game played better than the PS3 version. I really do think that if you're trying to collect and you're bummed out on the prices and you can't seem to find good deals, look in this direction. There are great gameplay experiences to be had, and for a really good prices. I mean, like, even as the PS3's going up, Xbox 360's kind of flat. So
I got a bunch of Rock Band stuff I'm actually getting rid of. I thought whoever I get rid of it to would love another AC/DC, track pack. Is this, Stratos, I think? Is this guy Joe? I forget his name. A couple random muscle men, a masked guy, and a Transformer that looks fairly early.
let's play a round of Does This PS3 Controller Work?
It's got water on it. It's a 6-axis. It's missing the thumbstick, but it feels actually really good. If this is cheap enough, I'm gonna see if we can do it. How much is this? The piece is like kind of broken here. 5? I'll do 5. Does this work? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say you're gonna get lucky.
You're kidding me. A PS3 controller that works? Totally a glasses removal moment. Let's see what else is out there.
Are these Pokemon? How much is this? 140? My husband and I. Romantic report from June Allison. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first tabloid magazine. How much is a controller? 5.
Let's play another round of Does This Controller Work?
Had a little bit of battery, acid, corrosion stuff in it, but it's otherwise in really clean shape.
Great luck with these. I don't even need to think about it.
Okay, what do you think? Yes?
It's a definite yes.
All right.
I can't believe my eyes. Is this like cringe to do this? You gotta take risks artistically. I think the sunglasses thing is really a metaphor for I can't believe my eyes, and wait till you see what's coming up. I can't believe my eyes. I mean, just wait till you see what.
The old version 360s, like the old white one, the black one,
Yeah.
all three have different back connectors.
Okay.
For instance, the Halo 2 version has the 6 prongs and it has like...
Folks, if you got this right now, comment with a link or something as to where we can see this, because this is news to me.
Microsoft, you want to tell me what you were thinking? Go to your room. You don't get your dessert tonight. And no screen time either. We arrive at Daniel's booth and he breaks out the goods.
Okay, talk turkey. What do we want for this?
So $50 bro. 50?
What?
It's $50. You want it? Take it.
Oh my god.
Can't beat it.
What the heck, bro? In this box is 2 consoles and a handful of controllers. Brian was like, nah, I don't want all this. Really? Tested, works great. The 360 controllers look like they were never used. But what I'm really honestly most excited about is the 3 working PS3 controllers that were there. This one I've never seen before. It's this green, like, military style controller. The thing is, these controllers look like whoever owned them almost never played them. So this one is definitely staying in my collection. $50. Thank you, sir. I put the camera down and was like, I don't want you to feel like you're in any kind of pressure to sell this stuff for me at a bargain price. And he goes,
Just because I like you guys.
Well, this is really generous. Thank you very much.
the way that Daniel does business is he sells a couple of items out of his storage lockers that gives him, the big money that he's looking for, but then he'll sell you all the other stuff just to kind of get rid of it and move it out as fast as possible. I felt like I was stealing from him, but he insisted, I'm not going to say no. Thank you for the kindness. This story demands the glasses. Ryan points out that in the back, behind the other booths, there's a whole new section of booths that are set up, and there's a vendor over there, and he's like, I'm gonna go look ahead. I'm taking my time looking at some of the booths as I'm walking over, and I finally catch up to him, and he's holding this red box.
So you only his whole development.
Is it?
Kit.
Oh wow. Oh, that is a DS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you scan it. This one, I think is.
Is this part of it too?
Yes. And also comes with the instructions.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me? That's a Nintendo DS development kit. This is the kind of thing that you would see at game expos and other random, forums and groups where someone comes across one of these in a weird, rare, random place, and Ryan finds it at the swap meet.
So you've already tested it, does power on.
Yeah.
This vendor was so kind, and as we look up more information about this, it looks like there's about 500 of these in existence that were used for developers to help develop Nintendo DS games.
I'm asking for 50.
450?
Yeah.
Wow. Ryan initially is told the price of $450, and he's like holding it and thinking about it, and she goes, but I'd do $400 if you want it for $400. I'm sitting here watching him going, oh, please put it down. I'm going to buy this if you don't touch it because it's such a cool thing to have. And he ended up buying it. So I'm jealous is the word? That's insane. I've never seen that before. Nice work.
I've never seen it.
Kudos to Ryan on this incredible find. It's absolutely the coolest thing I've seen game hunting in the last several years, especially since the pandemic, maybe even before. But I'm not done with this vendor yet. She's got more games for sale. Her prices on her games otherwise were really great. One of the first ones that catches my eye is actually one that's not that big of a deal. It's called Delta Force Urban Warfare. Generic, low-budget, first-person shooters, I'm in. I know that they're terrible. This era, I just have such a nostalgia for on the PS1. Lately, as I've been collecting, I've been looking for PS1 games in general, whether they're good or bad, just because I like this era of video games. It reminds me of going to Blockbuster Video and seeing these random games or finding the bargain bin. $5 for this one, I'm gonna take it. The next thing I find are these PS Move controllers. These are the PS4 versions. The reason you can tell that these are not the PS3 versions is the move buttons here on the front are these black ones, and the bottom have a different connector that is for the PS4. But other than the cosmetic and input differences, it's the exact same controller as the PS3 one. This is a game I have never seen before. It looks like it's not very good, but it is a greatest hits game. For $10, I wanted to pick it up and give it a playthrough. I bet it's mediocre, maybe even terrible, so I'm excited to play it. The next game that she had out that I was interested in was The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, which she originally pulled out and had it stickered at 65, and she goes,
I can do 60.
60? Okay. I'm okay on that. And then she kept on lowering the price, and I said, can we do 50? And she goes, yeah, let's do $50. The next thing I see is the NES Mini console. This one is also an original. It is not a reproduction or a third-party knockoff, even at $100. If you were to buy every physical game cartridge authentically as it is today, plus an NES console to play them on, this is the amount that it would cost. That's a fantastic way to play some of these classics and is so convenient in terms of just plugging this right into your TV. All the games are right there. You don't have to mess around with the cartridges. So you said 60 and 40, so 100. We're at 160 right now on all this, right?
Okay.
So I want to see if I can get to 200. I'm just going to show you a game and you tell me your best price, okay?
Okay.
Like, what's your best price on this one?
30.
30?
Oh, okay. 25.
Can you do 10 on this?
Sure.
One more thing for $5. What's it gonna be? How about arcade game? No, it's a little far off. How about this one for $5? All right, 200.
Yes.
Hey! Thank you for the amazing deal.
Oh, you're welcome.
200, count it. Make sure I did it right.
Perfect.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh my gosh! You got the freaking development kit. That's insane.
I've never even seen one.
When you were sitting there him and hawing about it, I was like, I'm gonna buy that if you even for a moment don't.
Put it down, like.
It's April. That's the find of the decade for me, for the year at least.
That's probably like the most uncommon thing I've ever found out in the wild.
So cool. This is one of the best game hunting weekends I've literally ever had. Guys, and it's not even over yet. We need to go back to the car and drop off all of this stuff. I'm not carrying around this fat PS3 and Xbox 360 for the rest of the morning. I don't have the arm strength for it, even though I'm jacked. We notice my buddy who's got his booth out and he's got a few consoles out. I bought from him before. There's 3 PS3 consoles just sitting out there. How much if I bought all 3?
Did you see the one that's all over there next to these 2?
Yep, that 1, 2, 3.
I'm asking 25 each, but take all 3 of them. Give me 40 for all 3.
Dude.
$40 for 3 PS3 consoles? That's amazing. Thank you.
He did warn me, 2 of them work fine. One of them, the AV port is not working. And so for that one, I'm going to take it to Armando over at Pixel Vault Games in Ontario, California. $40 for 3 PS3 consoles. I just got all those controllers. What is happening this morning? So we got to go back to the car again. Why do you think that we've had such a good morning? What do you blame that on?
Dumb luck.
That helps too. As we walk out, we find another PlayStation console. This time, it's the PlayStation Classic.
$60, brand new. Always hooking it up, dude. Thank you so much.
I think this is a fun console still to have, especially if you know how to fix the PAL issues that make it run a little bit slower. These games are still great. I mean, you have Metal Gear, you have Ridge Racer Type 4, Wild Arms. And as we're looking around Isaac's booth, I notice a familiar looking item that is really tough to find. $1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it $20, man.
As your friend, I'm not going to pay $1 for this.
Give it $20.
You should get more money. This is the Nintendo DS Pokewalker.
They're just sitting right around the table.
There's no way I'm paying a friend who's a vendor at the swap meet $1 for this thing. So we tell him, look, it's worth a lot more than that. We're gonna give you $20. And between the PlayStation Classic and this, I'm paying about 50% the value on these items, which is typically what I pay at swap meets or even in my appraisal videos.
We looked it up and we were like, oh, actually it goes for 60. So you're still cool with 20?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the incredible deals that you give consistently week after week. And then as we're about to leave, Isaac points out, he's like, hey, I got a couple of games and I ended up finding these.
What do we got on these?
Bro! Wrestling games are going up, bro. I know what's up. I just like to give you practice.
Thank you.
This is a garbage game. You can just have it. It's not even worth selling it to you. I honestly wanted it because anything Nintendo first party, I just naturally have an interest in having in my collection, even if it's not very good. Like Wii Music. Now I'm just wearing the glasses to hide my eyes and my shame from you all. Sorry. And I see a familiar stack of games sitting out, and it's Caesar's booth. He's got a bunch of PlayStation Vita games. Anytime you see Vita stuff, it's worth grabbing because it's just so hard to find anything for the console that's not the same 3 or 4 games. But one game that's kind of held some value regardless of, you know, the amount of copies sold or how accessible it is Mortal Kombat. It's about a $30 game. They had it at $25, but they sold it to me for $20. Great deal.
Now here's an Atlas game I've literally never seen before. Oh, that label looks mint though, don't you think?
It sure does.
Yeah.
Did you know Atlas made motorcycle games?
That's what I'm saying.
And as we're walking through on our last lap, we go to this booth and we find this red DS.
35. It's in clean shape too. 25? Oh, I'll buy it for 25.
Absolutely worth the risk at $25. He insists that it works.
$25 for a DS Lite with the Incredibles.
Very nice, clean.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it's in like perfect condition.
What is actually happening this morning?
Running out of time. We're gonna hit up one last booth, and then I'm going home. That's Michael's booth. Let's go.
It's been a while since I've seen him, probably over a month or so. Sometimes he's got new stuff that he's hanging on to for me to check out. One of those items was this Battletoads versus Double Dragon, and Michael's question was, is this authentic?
Do you know about the Mexico-Japan differences? Okay, so check this out. So, okay, let's just grab another one. Here you go. HAL Laboratories. Down here on this, you see it says made in Japan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is most of the Super Nintendo games have made in Japan. Later on in the Super Nintendo's life, like kind of near when the N64 comes out, they started moving them to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
It's the real cartridge. It's an authentic thing, but the paper feels a little different, like more papery, which this one does, whereas this one's more glossy. And that's definitely authentic, but it's called a Majesco release.
Oh, okay.
You have the manuals, they'd be colorless,
Yeah, the manuals are black and white.
Many collectors prefer the made in Japan versions of these games because they feel like just a slightly higher quality than the made in Mexico versions, but either of them is equally as valid, equally as authentic.
Yeah, that's authentic for sure, but it's just the Majesco re-release. Any final words?
I enjoyed myself walking around, hanging out with you, talking shop. It was fun catching up. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while,
Yeah.
but dude,
You cashed out pretty quick today,
I was pretty happy.
but that's a good reason to cash out.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
I'm hoping to, get some more info on it.
With the mini consoles, I think it was like 8 different consoles were purchased this morning or something to that effect. Averaged out, they come out to like $20 each. I mean, it was nuts.
Crazy.
I'm really shocked at how incredible this weekend was. See you next time at the garage. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching the channel. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you next time.